Alright, this is going to be a Garry's Mod tutorial. This is just going to be on the basics. Um, Nothing too specific, just give the general idea of what's going on. First thing you do when you spawn in is you're going to want to pull up the Q menu. Obviously you just hit that button there, your Q button. There it is. And you can do most everything through this. I'll just teach you the basics for now. These are just some of the items that you can spawn into the game. All you have to do is just click an image, it spawns in on the world. And it'll spawn in wherever you're looking. So if I'm looking at another barrel, it'll spawn kind of wherever relative looking to that. And what I'm doing now is I'm hitting the Z button, that button there, and that's undoing things. So if you say you spawn in a bunch of stuff, oh wait, I didn't want to do that, you can just keep hitting Z, and it'll just keep undoing. Alright, so let's just go ahead and just kind of look over some of the things here. You can have all these different tabs all the different categories of different types of props and whatnot. All these right here are all from Half-Life 2. I don't really understand why they're not in Half-Life 2, but whatever. Anyway, these are all just different types of props. These here are Ragdolls, and a Ragdoll has a bit more to it than just a single prop. As you can see, that this woman, this Alex Vance is her name, she flops around like a Ragdoll. That's what's known in the gaming industry as the Ragdoll. Anyway, so there's tons of different ones of those, all kinds of different characters and whatnot. That's a head crab, sort of weird alien thingy. And this one, a lot of people have this notion to think that they can spawn in these vehicles, say like the helicopter. If you ever see that, I might get to that in a minute, but if you see how I spawned that in, it's like that, and it says on the bottom of my screen, your prop has been ghosted. Just touch it, and then it goes back. Anyway, so people think that these vehicles are, you can get in them or something, but, I mean, I'm pressing E on it, which is the use button in Garry's Mod, and nothing happens. That's because this is just a prop. There's nothing to it. It's just what you see. There's no scripting behind it, there's no nothing, so all it does is sit there. To get to the vehicles that you want to drive, you have to go to these tabs, but we'll get to that in a minute. I'm going to keep going over a couple of these other things. Some players will have Team Fortress 2 also installed, and that will bring in some of the Team Fortress 2 resources. So here's a rock or whatever. This is from Team Fortress 2. Some props in the game and whatnot won't just kind of, I guess they won't behave, you could say, the way you think they would, because they're not scripted the right way, or they're just scripted lazily, I guess you could say, and so they'll act kind of weird like that. But so more Team Fortress 2 stuff. This is another prime example of that. This has no physics. You can see I just let it sit there and it doesn't do anything. And yeah, that's pretty simple. And then you'll come down to this one. This one's called Builder. This is a model pack that used to be a mod for Garry's Mod that you had to download, but now it's just part of Garry's Mod because it was so useful. It used to be called Phoenix Prop Pack, but now it's just part of it. It's called Builder, and there's a lot of useful stuff in here. So if you can see, that's just a plate. You got all these different types of cubes and whatnot, and they're really, really useful for building things. So I recommend you try to use these as much as you can because, again, just look at it. They're very uniform, very simple, and yeah, you can make some really good, useful contraptions with them. And there's all kinds of different stuff. These I never really use. Some gears and stuff. Some interesting, I guess they call them robotics. Rail systems, you can make like a train track and stuff with them. Pretty cool. Different types of wheels, and some various other random things. And then you can come down to SProps, which is an add-on that I highly recommend. It's like this one, but about 1,000,000 times better. It's got higher tolerances. It's more in depth, so there's a lot more to it. If you can see here as I scroll down, there's a lot of it. That's just the blocks, and then you got plates. Excuse me, while my computer thinks a little. I mean, there's a lot. I mean, it even goes into like thin, really small, thin things. So I recommend getting this as far as an add-on on here. And then you can go down to browse, which you can browse. So these are all categories. These are what people, the Garry's Mod creators and whatnot, have pre slabbed together for you, so it's easier to find. But you can browse by the actual files if you really wanted to find your stuff, and you can find stuff that's in here that you normally wouldn't find in these sections. So don't be afraid to kind of browse through here and find some stuff. Like this is a perfect example. This you can't find in those other sections, but it's kind of a useful prop. It's got like a little hole. Make it into, I don't know, a jail cell or something. All right, so next part, we'll just go ahead and go on up here. And this is what I was talking about earlier. There's a different tabs of what you can do. So this is the spawn list. Obviously, you're spawning in props. The weapons tab will spawn in guns. There's all different kinds of guns. Every server has their own list and whatnot. Generally, you always see M9K though. M9K is some of the more used. And you just click it, and there you go. Gives it to you. Depending on the server though, you might have to go into their PvP mode or kill mode or whatever they have for it. That's pretty simple. And then you also have in other, you have your basic stuff again. You have your tool gun, your physics gun, and that's the stuff that you generally spawn in with. So if you end up losing them, that's where you find them. Okay, NPCs are just non-playable characters. They're just simple. I honestly never really use them. I just don't play the game for that kind of stuff. You just click it and they spawn in, and they act like a character from Half-Life 2 or generally or whatever add-ons and stuff they have. And you can interact with them. Alex Vance is usually pretty strong, but say... Oh, anyway, you get the idea. Entities, they're similar to props in a lot of times, but what generally means is they're scripted. So they have a lot more to them. So ammo will be in here. This is how you'd find ammo for a lot of guns and things. You also have things like the bouncy ball. If you don't know what this is, you'll come to find out playing Garry's Mod. It is how you get health in the basic vanilla Garry's Mod. You just press E, and there you go. I ate it. If you look in the bottom corner there, I have 105 health now. And then, I don't know. There's just all different types of stuff. Different model packs and things. And this is the vehicles tab. Now, vehicles are, like I was saying earlier, this tab here shows you all the different vehicles and whatnot. Well, these are the props. These are the actual vehicles. These are the ones that you can interact with. They are scripted to do things. Chairs are just really simple chairs. So if I spawn one in and I press E on it, oh, I got in it. I'm inside the chair now. Pretty cool. They all have, there's tons of different kinds and whatnot. And then you can get model pack, or vehicle packs to have different types of cars and stuff. This one obviously is very high poly, high resolution car. So, I mean, there's all kinds of different things. But that's that. Post-process, you won't really ever see anyone use this much because it's just as it says, it's post-processing. It's anything to do after the game is already rendered or whatever, and then it does more in post. So you can have like overlays. So say we'd have the water overlay. Ooh, oh, it looks like I'm in water. Get that? They have all kinds of different things. Just cool little effects and whatnot. One thing I do recommend you try out, if you have a fairly good screen, good size screen I should say, is try out stereoscopy. From what you can see on my screen, if you're watching this on, say, YouTube or whatever, you might not be able to tell what's going on really, other than there's two screens. But if you do stereoscopy, and you look up how to do stereoscopy 3D, you can do 3D in this game, which is kind of cool, but gives me a headache, so I don't really do it much. And it honestly looks like I'm about running out of time here, so if you want to continue to learn more, come and watch part 2. I'll see you later.